Hi guys, it's Sam and I am here today to talk to you about Series 8, Episode 3 of Doctor Who, Robot of Sherwood. So if you haven't watched this episode, I would wait to watch this video because, as always, it is going to be spoiler-filled and I don't want to spoil you, unless you don't mind being spoiled, in which case, all the more power to you and continue watching. So the Robot of Sherwood saw a return to historical placed episodes of Doctor Who. It's been a while since we've had one of these. The last historical episode was back in Series 5 with Winston Churchill. So I was very happy to see another period piece in Doctor Who. I really like the historical episodes featuring historical figures. So I enjoyed this episode. I was anticipating this episode and I was not disappointed. I loved this episode. I liked it better than last week's episode, Into the Dalek. So it made me quite happy. It was hilarious. It was written by Mark Gatiss. And for those of you who don't know who Mark Gatiss is, he plays Mycroft in Sherlock. I've always enjoyed, for the most part, Mark Gatiss's episodes in Doctor Who, so I was not disappointed this time. I thought it was hilarious. It was just so funny. I loved the banter between Robin Hood and the Doctor. It had me laughing the whole time. The Doctor getting so frustrated with all of the ridiculous laughing. I thought that was priceless. People don't laugh that much. I just thought all the interaction and banter between the Doctor and Robin was just, it was priceless. I loved how irritated they were getting with each other and how they kept kind of trying to egg each other on. It was just comedy gold, in my opinion. I loved the new robot monsters in this episode. I thought they were sufficiently creepy. I actually thought they were a little bit creepier than the Cybermen, just their faces looked a little more disturbing to me. So I thought they were kind of a cool addition to the show. I would love to see a return of them, trying to figure out where they came from, and of course we know where they're going. The Promised Land, which is where Missy, who's been in the past 2 episodes, is, so we have another tie-in there. Can't wait to figure out where this story arc is going, and I love how it's really reminding me of the story arcs from Russell T Davies' era, a la, you know, Bad Wolf, Torchwood. I like those type of story arcs a little bit more than the ones we have experienced in season 5, 6, and 7. Just, again, my personal preference, but I'm really enjoying it. I like the little clues dropped here and there, and so now we know they were going to wherever Missy is, wherever that may be. Promised Land, wherever the Promised Land is. I can't wait to find out. I love the setting of this episode, of course. It takes place in the Middle Ages, because that's where the Legend of Robin Hood comes from, and it felt very Merlin-esque to me, for those of you who are Merlin fans like myself. I'm actually pretty sure that the village where they caught Marion in the very beginning was the same set where they filmed Merlin's little home village in Merlin. It looked exactly the same, and it wouldn't surprise me. It's the BBC, right? They have like 5 sets, so it wouldn't surprise me. But I was like, oh look, I'm just waiting for Merlin to pop out of a house, because I can't let Merlin go, apparently. I still want more Merlin. It's never gonna end. But this is not a Merlin discussion video, so let us move again on to Doctor Who. So we soon discover that these robots are melting down gold to sort of power their ship back up into space. But I don't know if you guys noticed, they were melting the gold and pouring it into molds that looked like circuits. This really reminded me of the Fires of Pompeii episode where they were making circuits out of marble. Again, this is like another tie-in to a prior seasoned episode, which they did in the past 2 episodes. And I'm telling you, I don't think this is a coincidence. I think they're intentionally tying things in from other episodes for some reason. It's very intriguing, and I cannot wait to see why they're doing this, what it all means, because I just know it's not a coincidence. It's just too overt to be a coincidence. There's got to be a reason for it. I mean, it's just so in my face. I can't wait to find out what's going on. On to Clara. She is really becoming one of my favorite companions now. I'm really loving how they are developing her character this season, how she's becoming more of a stronger character, I guess. I'm really enjoying that. And it is kind of fulfilling my prediction of her becoming known more as 12's companion than 11's. I think she'll definitely be known as Dr. 12's companions. I really like the dynamic between Dr. 12 and Clara, and just Clara's character in general. The whole dungeon scene where they take the ringleader and Clara's the ringleader because she's the only one not arguing and telling them what to do, I thought that was priceless. Another interesting moment in the show was when Marion kissed the Doctor and thanked him for helping all of the peasants that were stuck down there in the dungeons toiling away. I thought that was really touching. The way it affected him, and he touched his cheek and he paused a moment. I was kind of curious what that meant to him. I don't know if he's just he's putting on this show of being more hardened and callous and sarcastic than he has been the past two Doctors. So I think maybe he's just relearning to show more emotion, to show that people, maybe he was shocked to see that people still care about him despite all that he's done and all that's happened to him. It was just kind of a short, quick, but yet touching moment that I liked in the show. Another thing that was amazing me about this episode was a lot of it was reminding me of Robin Hood Men in Tights. For those of you who don't know, Robin Hood Men in Tights is a hilarious Mel Brooks movie and one of my favorite Mel Brooks movies. It's a spoof on all of the other Robin Hood movies. It's hilarious. The scene between Robin, when their little sword fight and the spoon fight, which was another hilarious scene, was reminding me a lot of the scene between Robin Hood and Little John and Men in Tights and their stick fight. So those of you who've watched Robin Hood Men in Tights will know exactly what I'm talking about. There was a lot of those elements. It was just reminding me of that movie. The only part of this episode that I thought was a little bit like, okay, that's a little weak, it's a little bit lame, was the ending with the golden arrow hitting the ship. I thought that was a little bit of a weak point in the plot. I mean, I don't really see how that just so happens that the golden arrow gives just enough gold to get through the atmosphere and into space. It just didn't seem very logical or convincing to me, so I would say it was probably like one of the weaker points of this episode. I just didn't really quite believe it. It was a little bit cheesy, I guess. But it's Doctor Who, and we've all learned to expect a certain level of cheese with Doctor Who. Overall, I really enjoyed the episode. I would probably rate it 4 out of 5 stars. I realized I wasn't rating the other ones, but I think it's something I'm going to do now, so just so you guys are aware of the rating scale that I am rating these episodes on. Just so you have a better idea of what I rate this episode, I would give it 4 out of 5 stars, or 4 out of 5 TARDISes, or 4 out of 5 sonic screwdrivers. Yeah. We'll make that work. Anyway, I thought it was a very entertaining episode. I like that there was more clues dropped in about the story arc this season, and I'm just overall really, really enjoying Series 8 so far, and I'm really enjoying Peter Capaldi as the Doctor. Let me know down in the comments what you guys saw of the episode, if you watched it, what your theories are for this season, and what the story arc might mean, and what your favorite moments from this episode were. Just let me know down in the comments whatever you want about Doctor Who, because I love talking about Doctor Who. So until next time, guys, allons-y!